Hey, Big Sugar fans, it's Dwayne, Big Sugar Honey Company, and today we're at the Penny Yard, just up the road from the home yard. We've taken off the beans. We didn't have any troubles with spray or pesticides or anything like that this year, which is good news. These bees didn't make a ton of honey, but they made some. These were all made with extra bees. In the spring we had so many bees, I just shook and shook and shook extra bees, and then we brought in a dozen Olivera's queens, early spring queens, and made up these single deep boxes. But it's a beautiful property here. The landowner is a lovely lady. She lets us leave the bees here, and we hope to add a few extra hives next year. But I just wanted to show, some people ask, what are you looking for in fall? Well, you're looking for something that looks like that. These are strong colonies. They are very heavy. I just took off all the pollen traps. These use a pollen trap that has to be removed at the end of the season and then go back to your normal bottom boards. And my back hurts. I did a dozen and they're so heavy. I really wish I had brought my hive lifter. It would have been a lot less work. But I haven't done any mite washes here. They look strong. They all had Formic Pro in August, and they've had multiple oxalic acid vapor treatments since then, and another one today. There is only a little bit of brood, so there are there's very few new bees coming up the line. So I would assume that most of these are winter bees. There probably will be some more die-off, but I believe most of these are going to be winter bees. With that little bit of a brood nest, it makes me think that they've really stopped raising brood and are happy with what's going on in the hive. So just pop this one open and have a look. So this is the beauty of oxalic acid. I just vaporized these guys 15 minutes ago, and they're just right back to doing bee stuff. I depend on oxalic acid a lot for treatments, and there's a lot of controversy and say it doesn't work, but it does. If you do it right, you do it often, you do it at the right times, it's very effective. Look at one over here. So when I put the brick at the back of the hive here, that tells me that hive is done. It's ready. There's no issues. If we've got a brick standing up, usually means there's a queen issue. That's a good sign. There's bees above. Here's the queen stepping stone. That is a box of bees. There are bees in every seam. Every seam. 10 frames of bees. They built burr comb. Not going to worry about it too much. And again, these guys were just treated with oxalic acid. Vaporization. Little lift test. Feels like a box of rocks. Bob Biddy, how heavy is your hive? Lift it. Does it feel like a box of rocks? Yes. Yes, it does. Now I do have a luggage scale. So you can grab your luggage scale and do a tip test. If it's about 40 pounds, that means it's about 80 pounds. And 80 to 100 is what I'm looking for. Again, just a ton of bees. Really quiet, gentle on the frame. The fall, that's a nice indicator. But again, look at that. we're in the shade here. We're covered by pines. So maybe the camera's not picking up as much as I'd like. But that is a good looking hive with a lot of bees. The tip test, very heavy. It's not very scientific. So all my lids here, these are migratory lids, they call them, and they're wax dipped. They've lasted a few years now. I'm quite happy with them. And they have a feeder shim or feeder rim on them, so the bees can actually move up and down. They all have plugs for buckets, so I have two here. That one there with the brick across it, that means it's a little light. So I'll just, next time I'm here, I'll bring a bucket of syrup, a 2-gallon pail, and that 2-gallon pail will go right on top. Just take out that plug and away we go. So I think it's 2 out of 10 here need a little supplemental feeding. I took all the honey off early this year. That's unusual for me. I usually let it go a little longer and take all the honey. We lost that one in the late summer. Just combined it. We lost the queen, just combined it with another one. But normally I take all my honey off late and then back feed very aggressively with syrup. Everybody worries, no, there's no syrup or sugar in your honey. It is strictly to feed the bees over the winter. And again, if you ask 10 different beekeepers, you're going to get 12 different answers. Some people believe that honey, their own honey, is the best for them to overwinter on, and other people will argue that goldenrod, aster, those late fall honeys are harder on their guts, and they don't do as well. Sugar, white sugar, is just carbohydrates. It's just fuel. It's just food for them. You know, they don't discriminate. They just need fuel to vibrate and stay warm over the winter time. So these ones will all get a wrap. I have the insulated wraps that go all the way around. That they're going to get those. I believe that direction is east and that direction is south. So we should be pretty protected here from winds. There's a pretty good wind break here. Such a nice property. There's not too much wind getting through here. So I'm not too worried about cold per se. And just like Cayman Reynolds says, the secret to beekeeping, not always in mite treatment and everything else. It's a combination of things, and you know, dead mites, number one on my hit list. Mites have to be dead, and they have to be dead throughout the season. You can't wait and apply a treatment once a year and expect a high survivability. You need to have an IPM, which just basically means you treat the whole season, whatever that means for you. And that means that fall, the mite load is already low, and now we're just cleaning up and hoping to eliminate the majority of mites. You know, clean box of bees going into winter is really the secret. Solid new queens, you know, first year, second year queens, also super important. And then nutrition at the right times. And it isn't just feeding your bees. There's so much myth about that, and everybody has an opinion. Would never tell anybody how to beekeep, but for me, proper nutrition at the proper times is super key. You don't need to feed your bees year round, but there's some times when they need a little help. And if you follow these steps, give them a little insulation in wintertime. All these have the foamies on top, but that's not really insulation, it's reflectix. It might be better than no insulation, but not by much. But these will all get 2 inches of a hard foam insulation above their heads, and then a wrap around as well. And that's it. A lot of mouse guard, and they're done. So these guys are really close to being finished. Next week I'll return. Actually, tomorrow I'll return with a couple feed buckets for those 2 light hives. And the week after that I will probably wrap them. I'd say by November I'd like to have them wrapped up. But the weather here in southwestern Ontario is, you just never know. I think it's 27 degrees today. It is October 5 or October 6, and you wouldn't expect it to be that hot. It's just beautiful. Next few days it's gonna go back to kind of normal temperatures. Anyways, just a small update from the Penny Yard. Hopefully you found it interesting. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you do like the videos, give us a little thumbs up. If you really like it, subscribe and share it. It just helps our videos be found a little easier by new people, which is great. Anyways, we'll talk again soon.